So I'm originally from Swaziland. It's a small country down next to South Africa. So it's very different from here. First major difference, we don't have a president, okay? We have a king. So I think it's one of the few remaining absolute monarchs. And the same family has been ruling the country ever since it was founded. So life is different. So first thing I should mention, like when I came here, I met people from all over the world, and these are people I would have never met if I was just in my small country, Swaziland. Mm-hmm. So another thing is, once you move to a new place, you just kind of, you adjust to living with new people, you get to know about their culture, just to make yourself more familiar with your surrounding and stuff. So I would say if someone studies abroad, make sure you also become friends with locals because they can show you the way. Yeah, so I would say for me, like, studying abroad has been so much fun. So I would strongly recommend it to someone else. Now, by having students from many different places, this means that, I have students who studied under the Pennsylvania education system. I probably have a student who studied maybe under the Ohio education system. So now it's more like gaining the skills of pulling, together all these different experiences and then trying to figure out how I can explain concepts to all these different students. So I would say that has kind of been a great boost on my career, like even on my teaching skills. So when I first came to America, like the first summer, I took a trip to Washington, D.C. and New York. My mind was just like blown away because it was more like I was just seeing history become alive, Like I was seeing all these stories which were like history, but now I'm like, this is real, Yeah, so it has just been the most mind-blowing thing, just, all these places I heard about and maybe seen on pictures or on the internet, but getting to see those places in person, that's super awesome.
I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. So because of this relationship that we have with the United States, I share so much your culture. I was educated there. My undergraduate was from the University of Puerto Rico. All my families and relatives, most of them are there. When it comes to my immediate family, I am the only one here. Our leading position in the world. There's something else, and there is this mentality that you don't need to learn about the world because the world needs to learn around us or about us, and that is not the reality. We really need to learn about other cultures and to be able to understand our own culture, because this is the land of the immigrants. But I mean, everybody who came here came from some place, with the exception of Native American. We know that, no? Actually, I was one of the pioneers taking students abroad here in Bloomsburg. I took them to Spain at the beginning. It was Spain and Portugal, both of them. At the beginning, it was for 2 months, and then I started reducing when we were getting close to changing the pesetas to euros, and then at the end, this became just 1 month, and then there was a point when I just went with them for 2 weeks. And then I stopped taking them, and now I'm retaking this for 3 weeks. Yeah, they spend 18 days. And when you go abroad, you open your eyes. That opens your eyes, and you learn a lot about different cultures, and also you learn how to accept the good and bad things of this country. Things that we take for granted. That when you are abroad, you start seeing the differences, no? You meet people who will be your friends forever. That has been my case. I have friends everywhere around the world, and I have traveled a lot. You expand your horizons, and if you learn a foreign language, that will be better for you too. So I think that we should send everybody abroad and see life differently.
I'm George Agbango. I'm professor of political science. I came to Bloomsburg in 1990 as assistant professor. I've since then risen to full professor status. I'm a native of Ghana. I was born in Ghana in West Africa. So I had the opportunity to see America very well, and I was very impressed. And I was impressed about the democracy, what democracy has done for America. When you travel, you see. When you read a lot, you are just an armchair academician or scholar. But when you travel and you see and you interact with people, that means a lot. Despite the fact that I have high degrees and they don't have, I still learn a lot from my students. And students learn from one another too, especially if they come from different cultures and from different parts of the world. University is a citadel of learning, bringing people from all walks of life across the world to exchange ideas. My first day of class, when I meet students, I tell students that, look, these are the requirements that I expect of you, and this is what you will get towards the end of the semester if we are able to carry out the semester without any interruption. You learn from me, but I must also say I learn from you, the students. And quite a lot I learn from my students. Despite my advantage of age over them, despite the fact that I have high degrees and they don't have, I still learn a lot from my students. And students learn from one another too, especially if they come from different cultures and from different parts of the world. And I remember a story, and this is a true story. One day I was in a rush to go to a dinner. It was an international dinner organized in Bloomsburg University by this international office. And then I went to a convenience store to buy gas. As I went in to pay and I was coming out, a little girl was getting in with the mother. So the little girl looked at me and said, "Mama, look at this guy, he's a clown, where is he from?" Apparently I was dressed in my regal attire from Ghana. And for me, I looked regal. For her, I looked like a clown. And we laughed over it, and I explained to this little girl that I'm from Ghana and this is the Ghanaian costume that we wear. She's a little girl, very innocent, but she's learned something. So at her age, 8 or 9 I guess, add another 10 years and she's in the university, interacting with international faculty and so on. Her horizon will brighten, will broaden and brighten. That is why it is important to have international faculty and also to have international students.
Now we understand the significance of having international faculty here at Bloomsburg University. I'm Sam Pickford with InFocus In Depth, signing off.